Comp fighting has been evolving more and more as time goes on. It's evident as teams have been playing better and better while also running more variety in their team compositions than ever before. One underlooked way that this is happening is evident in a mode that no one really thinks of: Annihilate. While Conquer is the most popular mode, Annihilate is usually vastly less preferred. This is due to the game mode relying on kills and offering less versatility compared to Conquer, along with people finding the mode not fun as much as Conquer a lot of the time. And due to this, people might bring out an Annie map to flip the script on a team, or if the team they are fighting is just simply bad on Annie. And because of these strats of Annihilate and character tweaks, people have actually been playing Annihilate better and better and has actually seen a development in how it's been played. In this video, we'll go over the primary playstyles of Annihilate and what they involve, if they're good, and overall use involving the strategies. For this video specifically, we'll cover 3 main playstyles to Annihilate with differing levels of effectiveness across them. We'll just go over all of them in a random order and explain what every style means, so let's waste no time and start it off. The first style is what I like to call the poke style, or patient style. That's kind of how I want to call it, I guess. This style is very self-explanatory. It involves using ranged attacks and other tools to soften up the enemy from a long range, and then going for a rush to either confirm kills, or to ult rush the enemy as they are all low or vulnerable. The poke tools can differ, as Hyper Laser, Sling, and Shuriken are common choices, while specific tools like Katana's Q-Grapple can act as pokes to fish for easy kills to separate teams. You can even stretch poke tools to include stuff like Skateboard's onboard ram damage spam, but that's pretty unreliable and doesn't necessarily count as poking. And finally, there is the aggressive part of the strategy. This is usually where every teammate does dive in, most likely using ults to push in for kills, and then go back to patient playing. This step is self-explanatory, but it does require some coordination around everyone involved to sync up for a rush. This strategy is by far the most common of all the Annie strategies, as it is simple, requires some thinking, and really falls down to how your ult pushes go. It's especially reliable as it doesn't require immediate damage, and reliable poking can lead to the team using this strat very hard to punch through, as playing aggressive might seem hard. It also works insanely well on the bigger maps. On Chaos Canyon, it might not work as well compared to a map like Roblox Laundromat or Bandland Annie. This gives it tons of versatility across most of the maps as well, and since it works well with a lot of common Annie staples, it's a strategy that can be applied to mostly anyone, as is the strat that combines defensive and offensive plays. However, despite it seeming great, it does come with its own issues. For one, it might be hard to coordinate rushes when the enemy is low. While you can keep poking enemies, it is important to tell when you should go for ult rushes or any rush at all. This can lead to people either not coordinating on a rush, which leads to losing unnecessary kills, or can result in overcautious plays. Speaking of which, overcautious players can sometimes falter with this strategy. This especially applies with kill leads, as overcautious players can lead to the team being rushed in first instead of doing a rush in on the damaged players, which can lead to huge damage, as the comps that use poke tools aren't necessarily designed to be combating rushes for the most part. The mistake of playing like a whole comp compared to balancing the 2 modes of this style is always challenging for newer players and newer teams, especially trying to find their footing for Annie. And this lean on defensive and offensive styles can also stretch fighter versatility, as some fighters like Banhammer or Boombox won't appreciate trying to help with pokes when they are really at their best when actively rushing at the enemy. Despite its few problems, the poke style of Annie is widely common and the most used style of Annie to this day. It's the easiest to integrate and coordinate, despite how it can impact playstyles and versatility of certain fighters. If you watch almost any Annie game in competitive, there's a good chance the team is using poke style, as it is simply that versatile and easy to use. Now moving on to the next style, it's easily the worst style of the bunch, and that's bunker style. Bunker style, sometimes referred to as turtle comps, is a style of Annie that plays fully defensively. It involves staying in or near the spawn areas and staying there for the whole game. You feed off the opponent's urge to play aggressive and force them to push into you, so you have the upper hand of using your spawn areas to force them into your trap. These comps often use bulky fighters and supports to aid them, specifically healers like Medkit, as the style often runs very little dives, and might sometimes run a lot of ranged on maps with open sight lines like Bandland Annie or Chaos Canyon. This style might seem good on paper, and then you realize how this style is actually pretty bad. For one, some spawn areas are just straight up horrible. Like, yes, Chaos Canyon has a great spawn area to work with, thanks to its narrow hallways and two small entrances, and it has a good amount of space outside the spawn so you could still play out of spawn and poke. But the problem is, Chaos Canyon is a small map and relatively easy to poke from, especially with ults. Any other spawns for the current legal map pool as I'm recording this are also pretty bad. Banland has a spacious spawn, but many ults could clip through it, and most spots around it are risky or give almost zero value due to Banland relying on passive play at the top and holding the position. Laundromat seems good, but it has the same issue with ults and having too many entries before the last minute, which can make it hard for the bunkering team. Dodgeball is just straight up awful, and Train Demolition is even worse to the point I don't even want to talk about it. And since it might be added, Gyarados is also awful on both sides. The second main issue is that it's boring. A lot of people will probably try to use bunkering and realize it's insanely boring and start playing risky. Dedicated bunkering comps might run a range, but most of it just struggle when they don't have cover everywhere, so if they ditch the bunker idea, the comp starts to feel worse to use, and oftentimes it will just straight up lose. The opponent also could just not play aggressive and initiate ult pushes to get a kill lead and then repeat. So a lot of games with bunker comps either lead to the bunkering team getting bored and rushing in, or a bunkering team staying true to the bunker and completely losing because it's just bad, or winning because they possibly found a way to win. Overall, bunker style is just not good. It's often a strategy used when a team doesn't know what to run or if the map is big enough to benefit from. It's often looked down upon as an incredibly lame strategy, and is one of the most unfun things as a spectator and a player when a team chooses to play bunker style. So not only is it just bad, it's not fun at all for anyone involved. Just don't use this strategy, it's really just that bad. The final style is why I ended up working on this video. This style is by far the newest one and has been a style of Annihilate that a few teams have picked up on thanks to many changes and playstyles. And that's aggressive style, or as I will call it, aggro style. Aggro style is self-explanatory. It's aggressive and goes straight to your face. It involves a whole team rushing in immediately to try and overwhelm the opponent in the first team fight instead of poking, and trying to get an early lead to then go for kill trades or keep pressure up. It's a style focused on engaging the enemy, forcing them to fight you up close, and forcing the enemy to not poke them or have any breathing room. This comp works so well because it's just very overwhelming. Teams could take key positions on maps like the bridge on Chaos Canyon, and use that as a way to rush into other teams and try to shred the enemy as fast as possible, along with using tons of high damage characters to force people to fight instead of running. It works extremely well with up-close brawlers like Katana or Banhammer, and supporting pieces like Boombox and Coil thanks to their dive-in support pressure. It can be comboed with ranged characters like Slingshot, Shuriken, or Hyper Laser for that offensive pressure from most ranges. This style was first popularized by one of the best teams after the Taunt rework, with that being Prestigious Pros. Ever since then, they have become arguably the best Annie team in the game, as they constantly pick Annihilate maps and run their signature Banana Skate Boombox Hyper comp on almost every single map, and dive in with their incredible aggression. In fact, the comp is so good that before the looming Tempest finals, they only dropped one single Annihilate game recorded, and that was the time they didn't go banana, which is insane. Prestigious Pros quite literally manufactured a comp that relies on full aggression, kill trading, and lots of dive pressure to make their own style of Annihilate and make themselves possibly the king of the game mode. Another iteration of these aggro comps would pop up from another top team during the Looming Tempest qualifiers, YC. They would use 5 completely different fighters as they went with Sword, Scythe, Sling, Coil, and Biograph to channel their own aggression. While it is less bulky in nature compared to what Prestigious Pros had, this comp was a lot more firepower in exchange for more bulk during a rush, as they used their players in specific positions to use the most of their aggression and firepower to take advantage of the aggression they possessed. In fact, they are the only recorded team as of making this to actually beat Prestigious Pros Banana comp during the Looming Tempest finals, which breaks their streak of Annie wins they have built since the last CRC tournament. Aggro comps are very powerful, but they still have tons of flaws. For one, they are extremely hard to use. Aggro comps require a lot of coordination and comms from the team piloting it, along with taking good positions to go for significant rushes, or for supporting pieces to flank or go in first. Along with that, aggro comps can struggle a lot if they don't have the kill lead, since a key component of aggro is being able to get kill trades to keep pressure and a score lead. Without that sort of cushion to help with leads, it becomes fairly difficult to keep this pressure without risking a lot. And speaking of risks, this comp is very high risk. Due to the game plan being far more aggressive and relying on a lot of pushes, this ditches the traditional way of Annie and focuses more on trying to get fast kills without trying to care for your own life. So if a rush fails, this can set back aggressive teams heavily, especially if they are up against poke comps who are able to defend the rush. So in a way, aggro comps are a all or nothing comp that has varying levels of success. More often than not, they are extremely powerful and can lead to dynamic and fun games of Annihilate, which has been a rarity for a really long time. And just to add this on, some aggro comps just aren't that good defensively. It depends, but playing defensively with these comps is always a struggle. Overall, I can't definitively say aggro comps are stronger than normal poke comps due to difficulty and a lot of the risk involved with them. However, the two main top teams demonstrating this type of Annie have shown it has a ton of potential, and only time will tell if it can really live up to typical Annie gameplay that teams demonstrate, as it is a far more fun viewing experience and much more dynamic one as well. So yeah, that's the main 3 styles of Annihilate. I obviously glossed over them and missed out on certain ways to use them, as this video would be far too long otherwise, but I hope this helps people understand how Annie works in Scrims and why it's an insanely intriguing game mode despite how much people don't like it. And hey, you can maybe try these methods yourself if you want to, and a lot of these strats are fairly unique and different to attempt on many maps. With that being said, thanks for watching, and let's play some more Annihilate.